What is up, my butter biscuits? Y'all, we're going to be talking about Sephora yet again within today's video because they are being called out for scamming their customers. If you guys have not seen, recently I did make a video about Sephora because they were getting called out for laying off several employees to replace them with AI. This is obviously just a little bit of an allegation right here. People are assuming, okay, why are they getting rid of the at-home team, which helps with the online chats, but then they're introducing AI services onto Sephora. I made a video about that, and I do want to touch on that for just a second before jumping into this video. A lot of people were saying like, oh my gosh, like you don't know how business works and this is what you have to do, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, y'all, I do understand how business work. I know at the end of the day, obviously the business has to make a profit and sometimes it does mean layoffs. I get that, but nobody ever understands where I'm coming from sometimes. And I get kind of frustrated because I'm like, y'all, are you not understanding what I'm saying? Because I was saying within that video specifically, I don't ever hear about a CEO or like the owner or like, you know, anybody high up. I don't hear about anybody from corporate taking a pay cut to save these jobs. Do you know what I mean? I feel like they always cut from the bottom of the totem pole, and I feel like that's really messed up because at the end of the day, some of these CEOs and people in the corporate positions make millions upon millions upon millions, and you'll hear about them giving themselves a raise while they're literally cutting thousands of jobs. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, y'all, that's where greed in the world really just kicks in. And I think that it does suck when there's people up there who are making $10 million a year while they're like cutting all these jobs at the bottom. And it's like, y'all, and especially if we're replacing them with AI, I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to be on board with this AI stuff. I get so irritated with it. Anyways, we're going to be talking about Sephora today, which if you guys did not know, it's basically kind of like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like a beauty convention. I don't know if you guys remember like Beauty Con or kind of like IMATS Pro, that type of thing, but of Sephora. But people get to actually go there and do meet and greets with brand owners as well as celebrities. And it's really cool too because you get to purchase different tiers of like memberships, and you get a goodie bag based upon what you purchase. Now this year it did get canceled because there was flooding happening in New York, and they were supposed to get a refund as well as they were still supposed to be getting a goodie bag because y'all, there was a lot of people that still flown out there to New York to attend the event and they weren't able to make it. Also, I do want to say this though before jumping into like all the details of Sephora and the cancellation. People were calling out that it got canceled for flooding. They were saying obviously at the end of the day, like, look, if there's weather, there's nothing that we can do about it. Obviously somewhere like New York, they can't handle flooding because it's like buildings on buildings on buildings, and a lot of things go into kind of like a underground walkway. Do you know what I mean? So it's very easy to get flooded there. I totally get that, but people were saying that Sephora was still open for customers and they still had employees go to work. So I was like, wait, you're canceling this beauty event, but then Sephora's all throughout Manhattan are still open and they were required to go to work. I guess people were calling into Sephora saying like, hey, are we closing the store today? Because like, how am I going to get to work dealing with all this flooding? And then they were like, oh yeah, no, you still have to come to work. So I'm like, how does that make any type of sense? Like, you have all these people going to Sephora and then you're going to go and cancel that, but you're still going to make employees go to work. I'm like, y'all, that's pretty messed up. Well, there's one girl on TikTok, and I'm going to be playing the full TikTok. I want to let you guys know it is pretty lengthy. However, y'all know whenever there's like a long TikTok, I'll cut it up into bits and pieces. I think that it is really important because she goes in on the full video and gives so much detail that you guys watch the whole thing, because she's claiming that she never really got her refund. And on top of that too, she was supposed to get a goodie bag, and it's just not happening. By the way, Sephora was in September. We are now in December and still nothing has happened. This is where I get a little bit frustrated with companies too, because you look at a company like Sephora and it's a multi-billion-dollar company, and say for example, if somebody's supposed to get a $500 goodie bag, what is a $500 goodie bag to a multi-billion-dollar company? On top of that too, let's go ahead and keep it real, like they get so many like products that they just kind of like throw away, or like gratis, for example, for the employees. Like, how come they can't give that to those customers that they canceled on? Like, I get it, at the end of the day, obviously this was because of weather, but it's kind of like, okay, it's not the customer's fault too, so why are they the ones taking the loss? Do you know what I mean? It should be on the corporation. They could easily give refunds, or like if they're supposed to give out the bag, you know what I mean, the little goodie bag. Because low-key, let's just go ahead and keep it real, everybody goes to Sephora for the hookup on products and that goodie bag, because people are supposed to get like a $500 goodie bag, like a $1,000 goodie bag, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna be reading a small article within the video so that way you guys know about the cancellation, and then I'll be playing the TikTok. So if you guys are interested in hearing about this, of course, go ahead and keep on watching. Also, if you guys have not seen, I did create a why do I keep saying second channel? I created a separate channel for my podcast. It'll be linked down below. It's called the Ramble Pod. As soon as I get to 1,000 subscribers on there, I will be going like live with videos on there. I'll have a weekly podcast with my homegirl Jelly. Y'all know her if you guys have seen my sip and spill every single Sunday. It's going to be moving to that channel now, just letting you guys know. And then also my travel channel will be linked down below too. So go show some love over there. Make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up. I would appreciate that. And let's go ahead and get into it. So just in case you guys don't know too much about Sephora, I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of an article from Stylecaster. They also did post about the cancellation too, but I do want to read the first post just in case you guys don't know what Sephora is, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, as somebody who has been in the beauty space and been shopping at Sephora for so many years, like, oh my gosh, I want to say maybe like 17 years now. I literally never heard about Sephora before. And I feel like I knew about all the beauty events because I used to go to them because I really felt like it was a really good way to like network and stuff like that. And I'm like, wait, I've never heard of Sephora before. But this is what the original post says right here from stylecaster.com. It says, it's back, people. Sephora's massive beauty experience, Sephora House of Beauty, will return to NYC this September. The company promises it's even bigger than last year and will include access to all new products, meet and greets from brand founders and influencers, and of course, all the Instagram opportunities over the 2-day event. Basically, it sounds like heaven, and if you can't get to NYC, don't worry, there will be virtual events too. We are beyond thrilled to introduce the latest iteration of Sephora with our first ever hybrid experience, including an in-person event in New York City, said Jessica Stacey, the SVP External Communications Marketing at Sephora. And then it's another quote right here. Following within our 25th anniversary year in the US, this event marks an exciting milestone and serves as both a celebration of our past and our nod to our future, as well as a symbol of the remarkable benefits of being a cherished member of Sephora's community. And this is what the updated post says right here from September 29th, 2023. The date is important, y'all, because it's been a while. It says, fans are disappointed today. Sephora had been canceled because of the weather in NYC right now. Tomorrow's event is still scheduled as usual. Sephora confirmed the news on Instagram. Because of the severe weather emergency here in NYC, we had to cancel today's in-person Sephora sessions. For those of you who were looking forward to spending the day with us at Sephora, we're so sorry and we're disappointed too. Stay safe and fingers crossed for day 2 tomorrow. I do want to say before jumping into this, I don't know whatever happened with day 2, but a lot of people were posting online, wait, why did day 1 get canceled when the stores are still open in the same type of area, the same like vicinity as where Sephora was supposed to be? And I do want to say, I find that to be a little bit like messed up. Like, how are you having Sephora stores open and having employees go there, and you're saying that you're looking out for, you know, the weather and the well-being of your customers, but then you have the store open and you have employees going to stores? Kind of like, that doesn't make any sense at all. But anyways, I do want to play this TikTok right here. It is pretty lengthy, but like I said, I do feel like it is very important to hear this girl's story because y'all, she goes in on Sephora and she has like all like the literal receipts from Sephora saying that they're gonna hook her up and they just never did, and they're low-key kind of like ghosting her. So go ahead and check out this TikTok.
Sephora has literally lied to me and many other customers for the past 2 months, and I am going to expose them. I have been dreading posting this video, but I honestly don't see another choice. It might be a little long of a video, but please stay till the end. I have receipts, I have everything, and I find it funny that Sephora is trying to bury this and that no one will talk about it. Earlier this year, Sephora brought back their event Sephoria, which was a live event in New York City that promised makeup, giveaways, just a ton of stuff. Essentially, it was like Halloween if you love makeup. It took place from September 29th to September 30th, and there were 2 tiers of tickets. One being the Silver Key, which got you access to one 3-hour session, which would be one of their master classes that they would host that day. Explore 8+ rooms with 50+ unique experiences. Take home a beauty swag bag worth $500+. Now, if you're a Rouge member, you are able to buy these tickets at the beginning of July, and they sold out so fast. Now, fast forward a couple months, I'm on my way to Sephora in Manhattan, and 10 minutes before this event is about to start, we get this email. To sum it up, there was a lot of rain in New York City that day, and there was flooding, so they decided to cancel the event out of precaution. I was obviously upset, but completely understood, because if it's a safety concern, I get it. But I found out after that they canceled this event that they were still forcing all of their employees in the New York area to show up for their shifts at the Sephora location that they worked at. So for a company that's so concerned about safety, I find it comical that they are forcing their employees, who literally had no way of getting to work, to show up at work. But I digress. Now, as this was going on, we received the email. There was tons of people that were lined up outside waiting to get into the event. People essentially were getting turned away and told, too bad, so sad. While the whole time, Sephora is still posting on their socials about the Sephoria event. Almost like they didn't want people to know that they canceled it within 10 minutes of it starting. But it didn't take long for a bunch of people to start commenting on all their socials asking for refunds. And they replied, please email troubleshoot@sephoria2023.com. So I went ahead and emailed them. Now I really need to paint the picture for you for how horribly they managed this. Not only did they only comment on that one TikTok to send an email to the email that was provided, but I found through another comment on Instagram that you actually had to send an email to experiential@sephora.com. And with that, Sephora promised that we would not only get a refund, but we would also get our swag bag for our corresponding ticket. If you bought a silver ticket, you got a $500 plus gift bag. And if you bought a gold ticket, you got a $1,000 plus gift bag. So that day, I sent my email at 3:35 explaining the situation, how I was honestly disappointed, gave them my address to send the bag to, and that was that. So around a month later, I heard absolutely nothing from Sephora. They pretty much buried this whole incident on their social media, which I'm not surprised. So I went ahead and reached out to Sephora to ask about my refund and the swag bag. You can pause to read. But essentially, I heard that people were saying that they were not getting refunds or a gift bag. And you can see right here that she confirmed that yes, we would be getting a refund and a gift bag. Now, fast forward a month after that, and I still have not received a refund or a gift bag. I have been reaching out to them and got no response, so I decided to follow up again with their live chat. I explained the situation once more, how I heard that people weren't getting their tracking numbers and also weren't getting their gift bags. And this next part should not surprise me, but I was then told that I was not eligible to receive one. Shortly after that, the Sephora beauty advisor cut me out of the conversation, put me on with a new Sephora beauty advisor, who then told me if you have not received the bag by November 30th, you will not be receiving it, and offered to put 500 points on my account. Now, my whole issue with this is the fact that I keep getting told that we as customers were not eligible to receive a bag. But when I ask for what the eligibility is on receiving a bag, they have no answer. And you can clearly see here that you will take home a beauty swag bag worth $500 plus if you buy a silver key, which almost seems like false advertising if they're not even going to provide that for us. And that's it. I've tried talking to many other beauty advisors and they keep telling me the same thing. Basically, there's nothing that they can do and there's nothing that they will do. And not that they owe us anything, but I also haven't heard anything from the hosts of the masterclass that were supposed to take place that day. And that included Charlotte Tilbury, Rare by Selena Gomez, and Milk Makeup. Honestly, I'm making this video so no one finds himself in the same situation next year, because it's ridiculous the way that they've treated us and kind of gaslit us through this whole experience.
So as y'all can see from right there, I really feel like Sephora is not holding up their end of the bargain. And I do want to say I love how she points out everything within her TikTok, because I'm like, y'all, that's just kind of messed up. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you really do have to go into depth with detail when it comes down to things like this, because there's a portion of the world out there, myself included, that hears like, oh, it's canceled because of the weather. Okay, that's out of Sephora's hands. There's nothing that they can do about that. But then they have all these empty promises, and then on top of that too, their stores still being open and employees still having to go to work. I'm like, how does this make any type of sense? And on top of that too, I'm so sorry, but I feel like at the end of the day, like if Sephora, say for example, had to cancel this event, I totally get it. Obviously, it's going to cost them thousands upon thousands of dollars, but I really do feel like at the end of the day, it's going to hurt the customers more because they obviously don't have as much money as Sephora. And on top of that too, I feel like a brand like Sephora probably would have some type of insurance for this, you know, to happen. Say for example, if you're having like a big old convention, you're going to have some type of insurance just in case something does go wrong, which I'm pretty sure the insurance will then cut them a check. Do you know what I mean? The insurance company. Anyways, y'all, I do want to say overall, I really do hope that she gets her situation figured out. And low-key, y'all, I feel like Sephora should hook her up. Like, throw her a $500 gift card. Do you know what I mean? And anybody who obviously didn't get like a refund, I really do feel like they should get hooked up. Also, I do want to say this has nothing to do with Sephora, but I feel like it's along the same things, is I really feel like it's messed up sometimes when people have to cancel. Like, y'all, I don't know if you guys saw, but Nicki Minaj was supposed to be headlining, I forget which like little tour festival. It was supposed to be in Chicago, and she literally canceled right before. And so many people had already bought their hotels and flights to go out there, and they weren't offering a refund. I was like, y'all know Nicki Minaj is my number one. I love her to death, and I understand obviously things come up, but I feel like at the end of the day, the customer should get their refund. And then on top of that, too, y'all, I am so sorry because I just couldn't imagine flying out to Chicago or any part of the world, flying out to New York for Sephoria, and you're paying for your hotel and flight, and then it's canceled. It's like, oh my gosh, like I feel like you should be able to get refunded some type of way. I feel like that sucks. Obviously, I know at the end of the day, if it's like weather or an illness or something like that, some things do just happen. But when it's kind of like, y'all, you're dealing with like, multimillionaires, it's like, y'all, they could cut that cost over there. You know what I mean? Especially I feel like with Sephora, like at least, I don't know, at least just give the people their refund. If you can't give them their $500 goodie bag, like just give them a refund. That's it. Anyways, y'all, that literally had nothing to do with Sephora, but I'm like, y'all, thinking about Nicki Minaj because Pink Friday's coming up and I'm so excited. Anyways, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.